Good morning, children. Sairam. Let us continue with the grammar topic, synthesis of sentences. Before I start, I want you to make note of one thing. Whatever activity, that is exercises we are doing, you have to write the answers on the grammar workbook. If you have. If you don't have, you can write it in the grammar notebook. But you have to complete all the exercises. This is a very important topic, so I want you to go through all the videos. Last two videos we have learnt how to combine two or more sentences into a simple sentence. Which were the rules? How we have combined? Yes, it is written here using a participle, using an infinitive, using a gerund with a preposition, using an adjectival phrase, using a noun and a preposition, using a noun or phrase in apposition, and using an adverb or adverbial phrase. We have done so many activities, right? But this activity is miscellaneous. That means you have to remember all the rules. Combine each set of sentences into one simple sentence. Homer was a great poet. He was born somewhere. Nobody knows where. 3 sentences are there. You have to join all the sentences. What all rules you have to remember? Think about the answer. Yes, how can you join them? Got it? Let's check whether you have got the correct. Yes, nobody knows where Homer, a great poet, was born. Okay. Next one. I bought this hat 2 years ago. It is still good. It is fit to wear. Join these sentences. How will you do? This hat, having bought by me 2 years ago, is still good and fit to wear. Next sentence. He struck his foot against a stone. He fell to the ground. He made his clothes very dirty. Join these sentences. Got it? Having struck his foot against a stone and falling to the ground, he made his clothes very dirty. Okay? So you have to have only one finite verb. So here only made is finite verb, right? Next, he goes to school. He wishes to learn. He wants to grow up honest, healthy and clever. Join them, combine them into one simple sentence. By going to school, he wishes to learn to grow up honest, healthy and clever. He told a story. It was about a man. The man had great strength. He was a famous warrior. Combine them. He told a story about a famous warrior, a man of great strength. His hopes are high. His superiors are pleased with him. He is justified in hoping. Combine them. Got it? As a result of his superiors being pleased with him, comma, his high hopes are justified. The thieves imprisoned the dog. He had brought it from England. He had trained it carefully to protect his property. Combine them. He, having brought the dog from England, training carefully to protect his property, was imprisoned by the thieves. Next sentence. He came to Mumbai. He wished to see his father. He had some business to settle. Join them. Having come to Mumbai to settle some business, he wished to see his father. He opened his letters. He read them carefully. He sent his clerk. He dictated answers to them. Combine them. Opening his letters and reading them carefully, he sent for his clerk to dictate answers to him. So, you have to write only one finite verb. So, everywhere you find all the verbs you have changed to ing and here to, right? So, this way you have to do. Now, we have finished with combining sentences into simple sentence. Now, let's move on to complex sentence. How to combine the sentences into a complex sentence. So, a complex sentence must have only one main clause and at least one subordinate clause. However, the examples in this section will contain only one sentence each, one to serve as a main clause and the other as a subordinate clause. So what you have to remember? Complex sentence, one main clause will be there, okay, and then other subordinate clause can be there, right? A subordinate clause may be a noun clause, an adjectival clause or an adverbial clause. So already we have studied noun clause, adjective clause and adverb clause. Now let us see how to combine the sentences into a complex sentence. First example, the subordinate clause as a noun clause. See example sentence. He says something. It is true. You have to combine into a complex sentence. First, what will you do? Find out the sentence that will serve as the main clause. So, if one is main clause, the other must be the subordinate clause. Now, in this example, the grammatical subject, it, clearly points out the real subject. So, use the appropriate connector and bring the real subject to the place of it. So, here the sentence is given, it is true, right? So, you will ask the question, what is true? What he says is true. So, when the changes are made, the resulting complex sentence would be, what he says is true, right? So, here is the main clause and here is the noun clause. You know that is the connective, okay? Subordinate conjunction. Connective is subordinate conjunction. Now here the connective may be any relative pronoun or relative adverb. So relative pronoun you have already studied, who, whom, whose, which, and relative adverb why, where, how, okay? But when a noun clause is to be the subject, it will be definitely pointed out by a pronoun, this, that, it, etc. Now, example 2. He said something. I do not remember it. Combine into a complex sentence. Here, the grammatical object, it, points out the real object. he said something. Okay, so by using a proper connective, bring the real object to the place of it. So the resulting complex sentence would be, I do not remember what he said. Third example, his teacher had said something. He was thinking of that. Now here, he was thinking of that is given. Thinking of what? What his teacher had said. Okay, so here too, the grammatical object that points out the real object. When the substitution is made with the help of a suitable connective, the required complex sentence would be, he was thinking of what his teacher had said. Here, the subordinate clause is the object of a preposition. Right? Here, thinking of. So, of is the preposition here. While in example second, the subordinate clause is the object of a verb. What was the sentence? I do not remember what he said. That was object of the verb. Right? Now, example 4. There will be heavy rains today. That is certain. So, what is certain? Yeah? That there will be heavy rains today is certain. Now, what is done? The grammatical subject indicates the real subject. Right? So, you can easily remove that and with the help of a connective, substitute the real subject. There will be heavy rains today. Now, so the resulting complex sentence would be, that there will be heavy rains today is certain. But as the subject contains a number of words, you can use the impersonal anticipative pronoun it and place the real object in the end. The required sentence would then read, it is certain that there will be heavy rains. So the subordinate clause is now in apposition with it. So this way also it is correct. So here there are so many words, so you can write, it is certain that there will be heavy rains. Now example 5, he wants some help. That is the object of his visit. Now that is the object of his visit indicates the real subject. You can easily remove that and with the help of a connective substitute the real subject in its place. However, you can also interchange the subject and the subjective complement. See the example. Arjun was the hero and the hero was Arjun. Now this one is subjective complement. Subject complement or subjective complement is same. Now what is subjective complement? That means the word which talks about the subject. Okay, it comes about after this linking verb. Okay, after the verb it comes. So here the hero was Arjun. It is interchange, right? So the subject complement has come first and then the subject. So if you use this method of interchange, the resulting complex sentence would be, the object of his visit is that he wants some help. Okay, and if you go by that method, what would have been the answer? That he wants some help is the object of his visit. Okay, and if you interchange, what can you write? The object of his visit is that he wants some help. Now let us do activity. Combine each set of simple sentences into one complex sentence containing a noun clause. He will succeed. We expect it. Come on, combine it. We expect that he will succeed. It is going to rain. I am sure of it. Come on, combine them. I am sure that it is going to rain. Now next, who wrote Shakuntala? Can you tell me that? Come on, combine these two sentences. Can you tell me who wrote Shakuntala? Okay, so you ask the question what? Can you tell me what? Who wrote Shakuntala? Noun clause asks question what, right? He will waste his time. That is certain. What is certain? Yes, got the answer? It is certain that he will waste his time. You deceived him. That was his complaint. Combine them. His complaint was that you deceived him. We wish to know. We were going somewhere. Combine them. Got it? We wish to know where we were going. He is a sincere worker. No one can doubt this fact. Yes? Got the answer? No one can doubt that he is a sincere worker. He is short-tempered. I like him all the same. Yes, got the answer? It is little bit tricky. Yes? In spite of the fact that he is short-tempered, comma, I like him all the same. Okay? In spite of what? In spite of the fact that he is short-tempered, I like him all the same. With this, I come to the end of today's session. I hope you have understood whatever I have discussed with you all. Children, there is no worksheet, but then whatever exercises or the activity which we have discussed here, you have to write it in your grammar workbook. Again, I am telling you, if you don't have grammar workbook, write it in your grammar notebook. So, till then, goodbye. Take care.